Hello and welcome to Audiobook 831. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.
Today we explore the timeless wisdom from The Art of War by Sun Tzu. This ancient masterpiece reveals the deep strategies of conflict, leadership, and victory, not only on the battlefield, but in every area of life where competition and decision-making exist. It teaches that success is never accidental, but always the result of planning, awareness, and control. The greatest victories are achieved not by brute force, but by intelligence, discipline, and strategy. Sun Tzu begins by explaining that war is a matter of vital importance. It determines survival or destruction, and therefore must never be taken lightly. Every action must be carefully planned and calculated before it is executed. The outcome of any conflict depends on 5 constant factors which must be studied and understood. The first is moral influence, which represents unity and trust between leader and followers. When people are aligned with their leader, they follow without fear and remain strong, even in difficult situations. The second factor is heaven, which refers to time, conditions, and external circumstances. These include day and night, weather, seasons, and timing, which can influence the success or failure of any plan. The third factor is earth, which represents distance, terrain, and environment. A wise strategist understands how to use surroundings to their advantage, whether it is high ground, narrow paths, or open space. The fourth factor is the commander, which includes wisdom, sincerity, courage, and discipline. A strong leader must possess clarity of thought, emotional control, and the ability to make firm decisions under pressure. The fifth factor is method and discipline, which includes organization, control of resources, and proper management of people. When these 5 elements are understood and balanced, victory becomes predictable. Sun Tzu emphasizes that careful calculation must always come before action. He explains that the general who makes many calculations in advance will win, while the one who makes few calculations will fail. This shows that success is created in the mind before it appears in reality. The next principle is deception. All warfare is based on deception. When capable, appear incapable. When active, appear inactive. When near, appear far. And when far, appear near. This confusion weakens the enemy and creates opportunities for victory. By controlling perception, a strategist controls the battlefield without direct confrontation. This principle can be applied in life by managing how others perceive your strengths and intentions. Strategy is not only about what you do, but also about what others believe you will do. Sun Tzu also explains the importance of avoiding prolonged conflict. Long battles drain resources, weaken morale, and create unnecessary losses. The goal is to achieve victory quickly and efficiently. A wise leader understands that energy must be preserved and used only when necessary. Overuse of strength leads to exhaustion, while controlled use of strength leads to dominance. The art of war is therefore the art of efficiency, achieving maximum results with minimum effort. Another powerful teaching is the importance of knowing both yourself and your opponent. When you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory you will suffer a defeat. When you know neither, you will lose every battle. But when you know both yourself and your enemy, you can win every time. This knowledge removes uncertainty and allows precise action. It transforms fear into confidence because the situation becomes clear and predictable. Sun Tzu also highlights the importance of adaptability. No plan remains perfect once action begins, and therefore a strategist must be flexible. The ability to adjust quickly to changing conditions is what separates winners from losers. Rigid thinking leads to failure, while flexible thinking leads to success. A wise leader observes constantly and adjusts strategy according to new information. Speed is another essential element. Speed creates surprise, and surprise creates advantage. When an action is executed quickly, the opponent has no time to react. This creates confusion and opens the path to victory. Delayed action often leads to missed opportunities and increased risk. Sun Tzu teaches that when the moment is right, action must be immediate, decisive, and unstoppable. At the same time, patience is equally important. Not every situation requires immediate action. Sometimes waiting, observing, and allowing the opponent to make mistakes is the best strategy. Patience combined with awareness creates perfect timing, which leads to effortless success. The balance between speed and patience is what creates true mastery. As the teachings continue, it becomes clear that the art of war is not about destruction, but about control. The goal is not to fight endlessly, but to achieve victory with minimal conflict. The highest level of strategy is to break the enemy's resistance without fighting. This means using intelligence, planning, and psychological advantage to win before the battle even begins. When a person masters this level, they no longer depend on force, because they have already secured victory through strategy. These principles extend far beyond the battlefield. They apply to business leadership, competition, and personal growth. Any situation that requires decision-making and strategy can benefit from these teachings. When a person learns to think strategically, they begin to act with purpose rather than impulse. They avoid unnecessary risks and focus only on actions that lead to results. This creates efficiency, clarity, and long-term success. The teachings of Sun Tzu remind us that true power comes from control over the mind, because the mind directs all actions. When the mind is disciplined, calm, and focused, it becomes capable of making decisions that lead to victory in any situation. In the continuing wisdom of the art of war, the focus shifts toward the deeper understanding of strength, positioning, and the intelligent use of power. Sun Tzu explains that true strength does not come from numbers alone, but from organization, discipline, and unity. An army that is well organized and guided by clear leadership will always defeat a larger force that lacks coordination. This principle applies to every area of life where success depends not only on effort, but on how that effort is directed. When energy is scattered, it produces little result, but when it is focused, it becomes powerful and effective. The wise strategist understands how to gather and direct energy toward a single objective, creating force that is both controlled and impactful. Positioning is one of the most critical elements of strategy. Sun Tzu teaches that the skillful leader first secures a position that guarantees safety and then waits for the opportunity to defeat the opponent. This means that success begins with preparation and stability rather than reckless action. A strong position allows a person to remain secure while observing the weaknesses of others. When the right moment appears, action becomes easy because the foundation has already been established. On the other hand, those who rush into action without securing their position often face unnecessary risk and failure. The teaching emphasizes that victory is created through careful setup rather than sudden effort. Another powerful concept is the idea of shaping the enemy's behavior. A master strategist does not simply react to the opponent, but influences their actions in advance by creating situations that guide the opponent into disadvantageous positions. The strategist gains control without direct confrontation. This can be achieved through deception, timing, and strategic movement. When the opponent is forced to respond in predictable ways, their freedom is limited, and their defeat becomes inevitable. This principle shows that true control comes from understanding psychology and using it effectively. The use of direct and indirect methods is also explained in great detail. Direct methods are used to engage the opponent, while indirect methods are used to create advantage and confusion. The combination of these two approaches creates endless possibilities because no opponent can easily predict both at the same time. A direct attack may draw attention, while an indirect action delivers the true impact. This balance between visible and hidden actions allows a strategist to control the flow of events and maintain the upper hand. The concept teaches that flexibility and creativity are essential because relying on a single method leads to predictability and weakness. Sun Tzu also highlights the importance of momentum. Momentum is the force that builds when actions are aligned and executed correctly. Once momentum is created, it becomes easier to continue moving forward because each success builds the previous one. A skilled leader understands how to create and maintain this momentum by choosing the right actions at the right time. When momentum is strong, even small efforts can produce large results. But when momentum is lost, even great effort may fail. This is why timing and consistency are essential in maintaining progress. The management of resources is another key lesson. Resources include not only physical supplies, but also time, energy, and attention. A wise strategist uses resources carefully, ensuring that nothing is wasted. Efficiency becomes the foundation of strength because it allows sustained action over long periods. When resources are managed properly, the individual or organization remains strong and capable, while others become exhausted and weak. This principle teaches that success is not about having unlimited resources, but about using available resources intelligently. Morale and leadership are deeply connected within the teachings of Sun Tzu. An army with high morale fights with unity, courage, and determination, while an army with low morale quickly loses strength. The role of the leader is to inspire confidence, maintain discipline, and ensure fairness. When people trust their leader, they follow willingly and give their best effort. This trust is built through consistency, clarity, and respect. A leader must remain calm even in difficult situations, because emotional instability creates confusion, and fear. Steady mind creates stability and allows clear decisions to be made under pressure. Sun Tzu also explains the importance of understanding different types of situations and adapting accordingly. There are times when it is necessary to advance and times when it is wise to retreat. There are situations where speed is essential and others where patience is more valuable. The ability to recognize these differences allows a strategist to choose the correct action instead of relying on fixed habits. This adaptability creates resilience because it allows continuous adjustment to changing conditions. Those who fail to adapt become predictable and are easily defeated, while those who remain flexible maintain control in every situation. The concept of attacking weakness and avoiding strength is another fundamental principle. A wise strategist does not confront the strongest part of the opponent, but instead targets areas of weakness where success is more likely. This reduces risk and increases efficiency. By focusing effort where it is most effective, a person achieves better results with less resistance. This principle can be applied in daily life by focusing on opportunities where success is achievable rather than wasting energy on unnecessary struggles. The teachings also emphasize the importance of discipline and self-control. A person who cannot control their own emotions and actions cannot control any situation. Distraction, anger, and impatience lead to mistakes, while calmness, focus, and discipline lead to success. The mind must remain clear and steady even when facing pressure, because clarity allows better decisions. This inner control becomes the foundation for external success, because every action originates from the mind. As these lessons unfold, it becomes clear that the art of war is not about conflict alone, but about mastery of strategy and self. The principles of positioning, adaptability, momentum, and discipline form a complete system that can be applied to any competitive situation. When a person understands and applies these ideas, they gain the ability to navigate challenges with intelligence and confidence. Success becomes the result of preparation, awareness, and correct action rather than chance or luck. In the final teachings of the art of war, the wisdom reaches its deepest level, where strategy becomes a way of thinking rather than a set of actions. Sun Tzu explains that the highest form of victory is not achieved through battle, but through complete understanding and control. A master strategist wins before the fight begins by creating conditions where success becomes certain. This level of mastery requires patience, awareness, and the ability to see beyond immediate appearances. The person who reacts only to what is visible often misses the hidden opportunities that lead to victory, while the one who observes deeply and thinks ahead gains control over outcomes. The ultimate goal is not to destroy the opponent, but to achieve dominance with minimal conflict, because unnecessary struggle wastes energy, time, and resources. The teachings emphasize that intelligence is the greatest weapon. Strength alone is limited, because there will always be someone stronger. But intelligence allows adaptation and innovation, which overcome any obstacle. A wise individual studies situations carefully and makes decisions based on logic rather than emotion. They remain calm even in difficult moments, because they understand that panic leads to mistakes. Control over the mind becomes the greatest advantage, because it allows clear thinking, precise action, and consistent progress. When a person masters their thoughts, they gain control over their behavior, and this control leads to better results in every area of life. The importance of timing is once again highlighted, because even the best strategy can fail if applied at the wrong moment. Success depends not only on what you do, but also on when you do it. A skilled strategist waits patiently for the perfect opportunity, and then acts with speed and precision. This balance between patience and action creates effectiveness, because it ensures that energy is used at the right time. The one who understands timing can achieve results with minimal effort, while those who act without awareness often face unnecessary resistance. Sun Tzu also teaches that information is power. The ability to gather accurate knowledge about situations, people, and conditions allows better decisions and reduces uncertainty. The one who knows more has a clear advantage, because they can predict outcomes and prepare accordingly. This is why observation and awareness are essential skills for anyone who wishes to succeed. By paying attention to details and understanding patterns, a person can anticipate changes and respond effectively. This awareness creates confidence, because it removes doubt and confusion. The concept of self-mastery is central to the final message. A person who cannot control their emotions cannot control their actions, and without control, there can be no consistent success. Anger, fear, and impatience lead to poor decisions, while calmness, discipline, and focus create strength. The ability to remain balanced in all situations allows a person to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. This control becomes the foundation for long-term success, because it ensures that actions are always guided by purpose rather than emotion. The teachings also highlight that success is not about constant aggression, but about balance. There are times to advance and times to remain still, times to act and times to observe. The person who understands this balance moves through life with confidence, because they are not driven by impulse, but by awareness. This creates efficiency, because energy is used only when necessary and in the most effective way possible. The art of war ultimately becomes the art of living strategically, where every decision is made with intention and clarity. As these lessons come together, it becomes clear that true victory is internal before it is external. When a person develops discipline, clarity, patience, and awareness, they create a strong inner foundation. This foundation allows them to handle challenges, overcome obstacles, and move toward their goals with confidence. Success is no longer dependent on external conditions, but is created through consistent application of these principles. The teachings of Sun Tzu remind us that life itself is a field of strategy, where every choice shapes the outcome. When we learn to think before we act, observe before we decide, and remain calm under pressure, we begin to gain control over our path. The journey toward mastery is continuous, because there is always more to learn and improve, but each step forward brings greater clarity and strength. This is the true essence of the art of war, a guide not only for conflict, but for achieving success through intelligence, discipline, and awareness. This is Audiobooks 831. Thank you for listening to this audiobook. If you found these lessons valuable, remember that strategy is a skill that improves with practice. Apply these principles in your daily life. Think carefully, act wisely, and remain disciplined in your actions. Subscribe to Audiobooks 831 for more powerful audiobooks, and continue your journey toward knowledge, control, and success.